Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new video. This one I'm going to give you guys a little recap on the GJ short that I'd taken, and also before I do that I'm going to show you the long that you could have taken previously, so essentially playing ping pong. I was going to take it, but I was distracted and I was just looking at EU and GU and other pairs, but looking back on it, there was a nice opportunity that you could have taken. There's a scaling as well, so I'll show you guys and explain that. So there's a lot to learn in this video, so make sure you turn the volume up and make sure you tune in and lock in right now and listen, because there's going to be a lot to learn. So as you can see here on the daily time frame, yes, we are inside of a bullish daily demand. We are running bullish, so obviously the anticipated thing to do is obviously take out these highs. However, we are inside a turn off supply, which has been refined on the 4 hour, which we'll see in a second. As you can see here, we've got a nice mitigation here in which we previously reacted to, came back down into this H4's demand, and obviously we're moving bullish. So this 4 hour candle is inside of the 50-minute bullish move, and then one entry that I'll show you guys in a minute. So obviously leading up into this POI, we've got a nice buy here. Leading into the supply area, very nice. So when we jump onto the 15-minute, as you can see here, this nice move up, right? So we didn't take out the Asia lows, we didn't sweep any liquidity or anything like that. We did get a nice wick sweep below this M15 low, which you got here, and then we start to move bullish. And then as you can see here, as London started to open, we've seen this aggressive shift to the upside, and then we got a slight pullback. Now I was waiting for a wick down into this breaker. I probably would have definitely entered that position then. However, it filled this balance partially, and obviously, we must adapt to the market. Not always will price pull back to our POIs. I understand that, and obviously, if you guys don't, now you kind of should. It's important to understand that price won't always pull back into our POI that we have marked up. So it's important to adapt to the markets. If you're unsure, just have wider stops, and make that way you're actually getting into the trade, right? So again, we had this aggressive shift to the upside. We got this nice wick pullback into this imbalance area as well. So when we jump onto the 1 minute, it's very clean. I'll show you this trade, a short trade in a minute as well. And I'll show you proof that I'd taken it as well, as always. So that was a very nice trade as well, but I'll show you that in a minute. Now, as you can see here, again, we didn't get the full pullback that we anticipated that we wanted inside of this breaker, which is fair enough, I understand. However, as you can see, we did mitigate something. So that obviously the mitigation is there. And then we had a nice aggressive shift to the upside, and we chalked above this high here. So obviously we got a nice change of character and indicating potential bullish bullish push in the market, and it lines up with our high time frame bias. Okay, now this area would have been a general target, but obviously when you catch a momentum like this, when prices is sort of rallying in one direction, you can expect a nice well, ideally what I would recommend doing is managing a structure when prices rallying, because sometimes those winners that you're in can really turn into a big trade. So if you are in like a trade that's within like an impulsive market, then yeah, definitely manage the structure. But anyways, as you can see here, we chopped here, we had this high, we had this low here, and also we had this imbalance fill here with this nice wick rejection to the downside that was filled this imbalance. And then we had a nice bullish engulfing candle that closed above the previous bearish open, well in this case bearish open candle, and then that would have been where your entry would have been, with your stop loss below the range low which was there. Okay, we then broke structure here again, indicating obviously price move bullish, break a structure. We had a high here which was taken, and we had a low here as well. But also we could have scaled in, so even if you missed this first trade, you could have got a nice entry here as well, or even just scaled into from the first trade, because it's all about stacking your winners and cutting your losses. So obviously when you're right, you want to be when you're winning, you want to win big, right? And when you're losing, you want to lose nothing, pretty much, lose small, right? So again, price came out to this demand zone here. We then get a nice bullish engulfing candle which closes above the previous bearish open here, and then we get a nice rally to the upside there. And those are the nice two positions that you could have entered from there. But obviously in terms of targets, like I said, this would have been a general area because it's high time from supply. So obviously we'd be looking for a chock inside of that high time from supply, because chocks are only really valid if inside a supply or demand zone. So make sure you remember that. Well, it's more probability based. So for example, the probability of price reversing inside of a high time from supply demand is high if it's chock and bearish, or in this case bearish. For example, if we had a zone up here and it chocked here, then that's most likely going to be a fake chock as opposed to a chock inside of a POI, right? So as you can see, anyways, managed to do a structure, didn't take out any lows until we got to here. We had this high, and we had this low here in which it did take, and then we start to see a nice shift to the downside. We've got a mitigation here as well of this imbalance fill. Could have entered there, a very nice entry there, you know, engulfing there, entry, stops above the high and target, you know, down here or whatever. Very, very, very nice trade. And then we started to see a nice shift to the downside, nice supply chain going on here as well, very textbook ZCFX setup. Nice reversal into the markets inside of that hard time from supply. And then obviously we got a nice shift in structure here to the downside. We come up and have this high and we have this low here. And then price comes up, taps into this area. So as you can see there, we got a nice engulfing candle there, which closes below the previous bullish open candle. And then that's where my entry was. Manually executed on MT5. And I'll put the chart up on the screen now of me actually executing the trade. And as you can see, stops were a bit tighter. Mine were here, but I was just explaining to someone on the live call I was on this morning where the stop loss could have been as well. So my stop loss was around here, so it was a nice 6.5 trade nearly. And then I just targeted this whole number down here, and it sort of lined up with this sort of area here as well, this clutter to the left. And it was a very nice trade. Like I said, you know, earlier you could have managed your structure, you would still been in this trade up until here. So either way, very nice trade. And that's pretty much it really. You know, when you go back to the 15-minute as well, thought to rally to the downside. Feel this huge imbalance as well. You know, 50% of the imbalance was taken as well. The 4 hour, obviously, you know, we were looking for buyers leading up into this area, and we got a nice reaction off of that supply zone as well. So very simple trade. What I would recommend you guys go ahead and do is just load up the charts and go and study it. This entry here especially, a little bit more complex compared to this one, but it's just still a valid entry. Okay, so what I would recommend doing, guys, is, like I said, just go on the charts, study it, journal it, make loads of annotations and notes, and just get crazy detailed with it. And yeah, that's pretty much it really for these trades. Like I said, I only took this one. I didn't take this one, but that would have been a nice entry that I would have taken if I was actually on GJ at the time. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this. I hope you guys gained some value somewhere. And yeah, just go ahead and study it. Watch this video as many times as you need to, because the more times you watch it, the more times you'll learn something new. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and take care.